Hey, gang, are you struggling with some sort of addiction? Pretty much everybody is addicted to something, even if it's just scrolling or productivity, right? Our culture is taught to not feel and to always stay productive. So, in order to not feel, we have to numb. And that comes in a gazillion different forms. Obviously, there's more severe and destructive and dangerous addiction cycles, but I think it's worth having a brief conversation and talking about some actual things that we can do so that you or someone you love can actually make positive change. So, if this resonates, stay tuned because we're going to talk about that. I'm Sarah K. Grace, psychic paramedic turned holistic first responder and psychic surgeon. Used my psychic abilities as a paramedic in California's busiest 911 systems for 15 years, and now I have a full time medical intuitive and psychic surgery practice for over 10 years. It's amazing. Helping people with their physical issues, traumas, addictions, energetic gifts, psychic gifts, all the things. If this is for you, like, subscribe, hit the alert bell so you get notified. You stay tuned, right? So tell me about your experience. This is like, again, pretty much everybody for real. Again, the celebrated forms are busyness, overproduction, just constantly working, always being on, never taking like downtime for self, like all of that's celebrated, but it's really actually quite imbalanced. I have a history personally where I used to smoke 3 packs a day. I drank Everclear straight. I was addicted to amphetamines. I overdosed and essentially died, had a near death experience that just woke my ass up and was like I was given the choice point. I took it as far off the rails as a person can. Literally died, was given the choice, decided to come back because I knew that I'd eventually be helping a lot of people understand their energetic gifts. So now it makes sense. I don't have any sort of judgment around whatever it is that you're up to. And in my private practice, I hear like people tell me what they're actually doing. And like, just let's all just cut ourselves some slack. It's a super intense world, and we're not taught emotional intelligence or how to regulate all the stimulus or all the stuff. It's kind of an imbalanced system from the jump. And so people cope. People cope through eating, right? Sugar, carbohydrates, starches. They anesthetize, right? And like snooze you. People smoke, they vape, they're smoking weed, all the way up to the big ones of heroin and fentanyl and meth, alcohol, gambling, these things that can be very, very destructive. Ultimately, though, we're all doing something because we get something out of it, right? It may start as just kind of like, oh, I'm just going to pop these couple of pills because it helps me feel better in the moment. But then next thing you know, it was like oxy or something. And you're like, shit, I can't get off this. And it starts a spiral. Or what starts as like a glass of wine, eventually goes up to half a bottle, eventually goes up to a bottle a night. And that continues for 7 years, 10 years, and you get liver sclerosis or whatever. And it's all just like part and parcel to what is. So ultimately, being real with yourself, if you're ballsy enough to really be real with yourself and be like, what am I really doing? Because of everybody that we may tell little white lies to, which most humans do, uh, a lot of times we lie to ourselves the most, right? Just, oh, it's not that bad. Or we segue it, whatever the situation is in our mind, to make it work for us. And again, it's not bad, it's not wrong, it's just part of the human paradigm. And I think that people are so exhausted and lack the foundational support, lack the community support and connection. And they're just out there flapping in the wind trying to figure it out. And they're like, fuck, like I feel like shit. Like I just need a shot, man. Or I got to blow off some steam. I'm going to go gamble, or I'm going to get a hooker, or I'm going to do whatever. Right. Again, no judgment, right? Everybody's up to something. But like, first of all, get real with yourself. What are you actually doing? And then second, how's it working for you? Right? Really. And again, it depends on where you're at with things. I don't personally subscribe to the thought process that you have to fully abstain, because a lot of times that just doesn't work. It's like white knuckling. Now, again, be mindful with this. If you're messing with things that are going to kill you, like today, like in a single sitting, fentanyl, hello, oxy, Percocet, Norcos. There's a lot of stuff. Heroin's mixed with all kinds of crazy shit right now. So it's totally a Russian roulette, right? And so those ones, Yeah, we're probably going to have to work at abstaining from those things. But when it comes to like, the other things, maybe you're eating too much sugar, right? Or you're over exercising, right? And it's not going to kill you in the next 2 minutes or 2 weeks or whatever. I want you to just start to look at what you're doing, look at why you're doing it, and then look at if you want to shift or change it. Because what the addiction is doing is acting as a band-aid. And really, what you're scared to feel, most of us that have been through this, I know for myself, dude, like I said, I took it as far as you can go. So I got no judgment on you. Going all the way down because we don't want to feel that ick. We don't want to feel that shit underneath it, right? But the more courageous we are, and if we hit rock bottom like I did, I mean, I had to go all the way there to dying, like having a near death experience, making a decision to change my life. And then how I did it is I started least invasive to most invasive because I had many addictions, right? So I started with, I think, alcohol because that was pretty easy for me. It wasn't my deal. I was more of an uppers chick. So, like, I kicked that, and then I started cleaning up my eating, and then I eventually kicked uppers, which was the big thing for me. And then smoking, nicotine took me quite a while, like on and off, to finally taper down. And so I did it in steps by myself, but it was after I finally made a decision. The decision to change is everything. So there's a lot of programs out there and there's a lot of rehabs and people go through and through and through and through and through. And they've got really low actual recovery rates oftentimes because they're just like, just don't do it. White knuckle, don't do it. You got 20 years, don't do it. And it's like that can be great, the community aspect of it. But humans are wired, if we were told not to do something, we really want to do it. Everybody has a different experience. Some people have like blackout addictions where they cannot control anything. Those guys usually actually need inpatient. They need program. They need more assistance. For if you're just over here and you're kind of like getting by, like functioning in the world, but you're like kind of got some shady behavior that you're doing like at night or on the side or whatever, no judgment, but like getting clear on what you're doing. And if you want to change it, the reason that we want to change is when we stop whatever behavior we're doing to cope or to get by, we can deal with the underlying emotion. When we deal with the underlying emotion, it takes away the compulsion. Oh, on top of all the other shit that I did, I was bulimic, right? Which is another thing that they say you can never recover from. I don't have any of those compulsive tendencies anymore because I took each of those one at a time and I looked right at, why am I doing this? What is this compulsion? Where's the hook? The more I tried not to do it, the more I would do it. So when I softened and I got real with myself and I said, okay, if I push against this and say no, then I'm going to do it. So how do I step down from this? How do I modulate? So if you're doing something again that's not going to kill you today, and again, that's a dicey thing, right? Use your own discretion. You're your own greatest teacher and guru. Do what works for you. But if it's something that you've been dealing with for a long time, just play with it in your mind and be like, first, get real. Second, see if you're going to change. Three, see if you got the balls to actually deal with the emotions underneath. And there's a lot of ways. I've done other videos on how to feel those feelings. You can do this and you can ultimately be free of addiction. I don't subscribe to once an addict, always an addict. Like, I was the poster child of that shit. And now it's just not in my sphere. I don't wrestle with it. I don't think about it in those ways because I've done the shadow work. I've done the trauma healing, and those compulsive tendencies have been integrated. So it is possible. And again, there's different flavors, right? Some people have like the blackout experience, and that's its own league, right? So I'm not comparing, but just know that whatever you're up to, it's okay. You're doing it for a reason. You're not bad. Okay. If you have an addictive or compulsive behavior, you can get help. And if you need to go to group or you need to go to a place, go do that for yourself. Look at Al Anon, look at adult children of alcoholics, get into athleticism, start moving your body. Get into the whole holistic world, get into feeling your feelings through tapping and EMDR and regression therapy and acupuncture, do some yoga, go outside, get in the sun, hydrate. There's a lot of ways to start to change the physiology, the emotions, the mind, so that you can finally begin to softly unhook whatever your compulsion and your tendency is. Again, you can look at, instead of drinking, a full bottle every night, you drink a half a bottle, or maybe you drink every other day and then every third day, or maybe you take a week off or 2 weeks or 30 days off. You can play with it, and I want you to notice what comes up for you with that. There's no one way to do it. Okay. Just saying, just don't do it, just abstain, just white knuckle. It really doesn't work for most people. So we got to go deeper. We got to get under there. We got to look at what are you doing and why are you doing it? If you're doing the big guns, your oxys, Percocets, fentanyls, heroines, meth, all of those kinds, we got to be real that that's a roll of the dice. It's roulette and you could die today. So let's be real about that and then see if you're willing to change. Just start to modify the behavior. It's okay to reach out. It's okay to have the support. And I hope that this message resonates. Wherever you are, you're okay. There's nothing bad. There's nothing wrong. I'm living proof that you can heal. I'm living proof that you can be at the worst at the bottom, in the darkest of the dark. You can die from an overdose and you can come back and be healthy and happy. It does exist. Always remember your power. I hope this message resonates for you or someone you love. Again, if it's dark, if you're in that really challenging spot, just hang in there. Hang in there. There's a lot of ways to free yourself up and out of addiction. You got this. That's it for now. Go ahead and like, subscribe, share. Find me over at sarahkgrace.com if you need more personal one-on-one help. Lots of love.